I don't know about you, but I think we're just about ready to do a whole nother Temu makeup try on. So let's not do a lot of talking. Let's get up close and personal and let's start the try on. I'm super duper excited about these products. You guys, I wasn't joking. I have a lot of stuff here. We've got enough to do 2 videos because I got different blushes, different bronzers, like eye toppers. I've got like 2 highlighters. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna try an assortment today and then I'll film another assortment tomorrow. Get ready, these videos are gonna be so exciting. And if you've not seen my hauls, make sure you go check them out. I will link them down below. I think you're really going to enjoy them. A lot of people are really enjoying the Temu hauls because you're able to actually see the product on hand, see how it performs, see how it works. And I don't just do beauty. I have household gadgets, kitchen stuff, fashion, you name it, I've hauled it. So yeah, make sure you check out my last 2 hauls so that you'll be able to see all the details on the products being featured in this haul and in the next one. I'm gonna start off with this Invisible Pore, Invisible Pore Primer. It says Pro Balm to minimize the appearance of pores primer. It's a skin perfecting primer and it's the one that says O2O. We're gonna go ahead and apply that on the, I was gonna say the eyeballs, but not the eyeballs. This is gonna go on lip face. You know, I went ahead and I curled these little like mechones, you know, my little cortinitas to try to look kind of cute because honestly I didn't feel like doing anything to my hair and for nothing because I had to pull them to the side. They feel like little dog ears. You know, when I applied it on my hand, like I squeezed some during my first impressions in the haul, it kind of felt oily, greasy, and it looked oily, greasy. Like if you look at my hands, it does look oily, greasy. But on the skin, it's very different. I don't know if it has silicone in it. It says oil-free, lightweight, translucent, and silky. It doesn't really feel silicone-y and it doesn't look silicone-y. So as of right now, that's the best I've got for you. And then I'm gonna go in with my Langmani foundation. It's a multitaskable product, so you can use it to conceal, you can use it for foundation, you can use it on the lids, like just, you know, it's amazing. So good. I ended up getting a backup because I didn't want it to run, like I don't want to run out of it. This is in the shade number 6. It's gonna look like this and a little bit is gonna go a very long way. I'm gonna take a brush and I'm gonna dot some around the skin and then I'll buff it out. I wanted to point out, a lot of people are asking about the Nintendo dupe gaming system and whether or not I liked it and if it works. It works. So I'm gonna give you guys an update here. We installed it, well not we, Juan installed it. And yes, it definitely works. However, the games that it has are classic games, but not the classic games I would say that most of us grew up with in America. Like they have Street Fighter, but it's like an Asian version of Street Fighter. They have a ton of Mario games within it, like Super Mario. But the thing is, it's like an Asian version of a Super Mario, which I found hilarious. So they're very reminiscent to the games that we used to play, but it's not like spot on, if that makes sense. And I guess that makes sense too, because first of all, for like $12, $13 to get a full-on dupe that's literally the same would be insane. And then to add to that, I think that would be like a huge copyright infringement and like pirating issue, right? So, I mean, you know, so I'm kind of putting it out there. We still have it. It's not like I'm gonna get rid of it. It's actually pretty cool. It's different. And again, it was like 12 bucks. So there are classic games. It's just like the Asian version of the classic games. We did find Super Mario in it, like the original, like the very first one you could ever find. And that's very, like, it's literally the one that I used to play here in America. That right there is not a dupe. They hit it all the way in the end, but that's like a real classic, you know? I moved forward with applying concealer and powder to set up the concealer because I've featured those already. These are like not Temu products and they weren't new, but it's products that I'm really enjoying right now. So I kind of wanted to pop that on really quickly. And then we're gonna go in with bronzer. I think it's the first time that I'm gonna use a powder bronzer from Temu. This is what the packaging looked like. I'm hoping for the best. When I initially swatched it, it looked like it would look, let me blend that out. It looked like it would be perfect for my skin complexion, so we will see. It seems super pigmented, so I have to be really careful. So I'm literally tapping and then blending. It's very, very pigmented. If you ever get something like this, try to go in super lightweight with it because you can mess it up really quickly from the beginning and you really don't want to do that. It's a nice soft powder. It blends very well though. What's funny is the products on Temu, specifically the makeup ones, are labeled as multitaskable basically. So you can use these powders as bronzers, you can use them as setting powders, you can use them for all over the skin. So it really depends on the shade you end up getting, but that really shouldn't be an issue because powders are multitaskable, you know? I'm gonna, whatever's left, kind of pop here on the sides of my nose. All right, that powder is actually really nice and it goes well with the Langmani base. Look at my skin so far. All I have is the primer, I have the base, I've got some bronzer. Forget about the under eye, okay? Because that's different products, but oh, that actually looks really good. Doesn't look patchy, it doesn't look chunky, it doesn't look weird. It's not emphasizing the skin in a nasty way. We're getting somewhere. Okay, next, if you guys recall, I ended up getting 2 pencils. I ended up getting one that's more like a gray. It's like a really deep charcoaly brown, and then a black. Should we go black today? Okay, I'm gonna save the lighter one for the next video. I wanna try the black one. I don't know if this is gonna work. We're gonna see. I'm gonna go super lightweight and okay. And hope for the best. Because although I always say no to black pencils for the brow, depending on the pencil, like don't use an eyeliner, a black liner for the brows. I've seen people do that. I mean, I would say stay away from that because it's just way too harsh, especially a kohl. But if you use a pencil that's specifically for the brows, typically they're more waxy and it's harder for it to be super intense. So I would go super lightweight. You can go intense if you apply more pressure, but we don't want to do that. So I'm just gonna kind of do little strokes here and there really quickly to sculpt and kind of like shape the brow. You know, going lightweight, I think it looks nice. But I also think we can get pencil happy and then all of a sudden kind of like overdo it. So we have to be super conscientious when using a shade like this one. I'm gonna kind of leave this brow alone. That looks pretty good. I'm not mad at her. Yeah, I'm not mad at her. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like when like both brows are done. It's creamy, but not super creamy. Not creamy enough to like make you ruin your brows super fast. I think I'm gonna leave it alone because I feel like they're sisters, not twins, but they're sisters. So they kind of look alike, but they have their differences. And to be fair, if I keep going, I'm gonna end up making them deeper, darker, and I'm gonna end up ruining it. So I'm gonna leave it alone. I think it looks decent. I would go a shade lighter, so I'm glad that I ended up getting the lighter shade, which we will feature in the next video. Now let's get into this Naked palette, which we were all really interested in seeing whether or not this is a good dupe for the original Naked palette by Urban Decay. The one with like the brown exterior seems like it could be. I no longer have that one. It expired. I got it like years ago when it launched and it was everything, but the formula ended up going poo-poo, you know? So I ended up getting rid of her, not knowing that I would find the potential dupe. So it is what it is. We're gonna go ahead and play around with it. My lids are primed with the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas in medium. I'm not 100% sure how this is all gonna work out, but let's see. I grabbed a big fluffy brush. I'm going to dip into this shade over here, which is kind of like a corally shade. And I am going to apply that on the crease. Right off the bat, it's not like super pigmented, so let's go back in. I have to go back in, and I'm going in, okay? All right, so that shade is not where it's at. I thought it would be way more pigmented. I was going for like vibrant, and it's giving ghost. So let's move on to the next shade. Same brush, and I'm gonna dip into this shade over here. Hopefully she's more pigmented, but we're really going in on like packing on just in case. And I'm gonna apply that here on the crease, kind of blend. All right, this one's doing a little something more. You guys see the difference? It's definitely more pigmented than the first shade. I went into the pan a second time. With an eyeshadow brush, I'm gonna dip into like a lighter shade. I'm gonna say this little nude shade here, probably mixed with this vanilla. I'm gonna tap that. Okay, these are pigmented. Okay, girlfriend. I was like slightly disappointed on the very first shade. And I'm tapping. Y'all already know how we do. Tap, tap, tap. Bring it around halfway. Let's do the other eyeball. Back to the original brush. We're color building here, so I'm gonna go into this gray shade. And I'm gonna apply that down here. I'm gonna concentrate it on the outer corner, blend out in circular motions. I'm gonna take the deeper shade. I'm gonna drag some of that under the eyeball. We're gonna see what that's gonna look like. Doesn't seem like it did much of anything. I'm gonna go back into the pan and go at it again. Okay, we're gonna leave it alone. It seems like it did a little something, something. You kind of really have to look to notice it. It added a little bit of a shadow, if you will. And then I'm gonna grab the brush. I'm gonna dip into the black, which I was pretty impressed with. So I'm gonna tap out, and I'm going to tap the black close to the lash line, kind of like out here. I'm not gonna bring it up or anything like that. We're just gonna kind of like stick it here, set it, and forget it. Okay, I lied. Whatever's left of the black, I'm gonna kind of drag down here because I just feel like the eyeball needs it. You see, it just intensifies it just a little bit. I'm gonna curl my lashes, pop on some mascara, and then I'll go in with my accent lashes from Temu, which are amazing, and I absolutely love them. Eyes are done. Here we go. Now let's try the blushes. These are potential dupes for the Rare Beauty blushes. I have Rare Beauty highlighters, not the blushes, so this is gonna be a first for me. I kind of feel like because of the eyeball and the way it is, oh my God. Train wreck galore over here, girl. We have 5 different shades. I'm not gonna go orange. I don't think it'll make sense. So we are in between these 2 shades. Shade number 2 and shade number 3. They're not named, they actually have numbers. Let's go ahead and use 3. I have a damp sponge here. I'm not gonna go straight into the cheek because I just feel like that might be too much. So I'm grabbing some of the product. There we go. And I think I'm gonna pounce my sponge into it just so that it's not too much all in one space. Place. And then I'm gonna, maybe I need to pounce a little more and then blend. Is it fragrance? Yeah, it's lightly fragrant, smells really pretty. I'm gonna let that set, and while that's happening, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. These feel like they dry fairly quickly, so you kind of have to work on one spot and then go to the next when you're ready. It's fragrance, but it's like a clean fragrance. Yeah, it seems like it dries fairly quickly, so you might want to just kind of do what I did and not just dab it onto your skin, because if it dries in that area, it may be hard for you to blend out afterwards, and then it'll be a train wreck, and we don't want that experience when it comes to makeup. So just baby steps. On the back of my hand, it still feels creamy and it's moving around, and it's been on here for a while, but it wasn't even, so we have to give it that. It's not tacky. It almost feels like it wants to be a powder finish. I really like the fragrance. I know it's gonna dissipate and it won't smell like this forever, but it smells really nice. Yeah, so I don't feel like it's gonna stay tacky. I don't think it's a product that people are not gonna like how it feels on the skin, so that's a plus, and it looks amazing. So while you're blending it out, it doesn't look chunky and dry and weird. I really like that so far. Now let's try the highlighter. If you guys recall, I applied highlighter because I wanted to try it on the cheeks in the actual haul video, and it was odd because I chose this one because it had a pinky hue. I chose this one because it looked frosty and white. Turns out when I did swatches, this one looked frosty and white and this one had a pinky hue. Is that not weird? Yes, it is, because we have a lot of pink on the cheeks. I think we're gonna go with this one. I grabbed a little brush. It's not picking up. Nope, nothing. Okay, I guess we'll go in with the finger, and I'm gonna lightly tap. Here's the thing with these highlighters. Is everyone gonna love it? No. I know a lot of people don't like glitters. For the sake of the try on, we're gonna go ahead and kind of pop it on, and the fact that the eyes are matte, I feel like it works. Otherwise, I wouldn't be happy with them being so shimmery. So if you have your eye on this product, I'd say skip it if you don't like shimmers, like on your cheeks, on your face and stuff. However, if you're really interested in it, I think it would look amazing on the eyes. Fact of the matter is, it's actually really pretty. It's just a matter of what your personal preference is. And next, we're gonna try the Langmani Lippies. Obviously, I got a full-on 12-pack. I'm not gonna try them all on my lips because it's kind of like a lot, but it's the same brand as my base, so we're gonna try it, get first impressions. I'm so excited for this. There are so many pinky shades, I wouldn't know which one to choose, so let's go ahead and swatch them to figure it out. Ay, Dios mío, you guys, look at these shades. That's a lot of pink. Now, some of them do look similar, so like these two look similar to like this one over here in the corner, and I wanted to point out this one had like a yellowy effect. Could be from the pigment inside or something. Found that odd, so I'm gonna get rid of that one because all the other ones had a nice white kind of like applicator. See, and this one also has a little bit of a weird yellow hue to it, which I don't understand why, because and all the other ones are nice and white, so it's weird. You see, this one is pink because the shade on the inside is pink, so I don't know. I found it weird, so I needed to share that. I think I'm gonna narrow it down to shade 07, A07, because it's really pretty. It's kind of deep. Hold on, I need a lip liner. I'll be back. Okay, now we can apply. And it says it's supposed to be a matte, so we're gonna see. I'm smelling them just in case. We're gonna go ahead, let these dry, let this dry. We're gonna see what that looks like once it's set, but I think it's such a pretty shade. I'm not mad at her. The lippy is dry, and honestly, other than being slightly sticky in this little area here, but it also looks like there's more coverage because I may have over applied. I'm gonna let it sit, but this kind of feels like a Huda Beauty lippy, in my opinion. That like, or like a Kylie Cosmetics, like, is it Kylie Cosmetics, whatever, one of those kind of brands. It like feels like a normal liquid lipstick brand, something that's gonna be comfortable and long wear. Is it gonna be long wear? That I don't know, because this is all first impressions and actually executing a look with the product. I wanted to go ahead and do one of these. See how they're like still kind of wet in certain areas, and I think it's because, you know, it's like that swatch is nice and juicy in that area. But we're gonna go ahead and do one of these and see if they move. Okay, so they move slightly, and I'm really applying pressure here. So are they gonna be like super long wear forever and ever? Probably not. All right, you guys, and here is the completed look. Now let's get into my final thoughts. When it comes to the blushes, so far the shade that I use is giving. I'm living for her. It just did the most for my cheeks. I really like it. And I'm actually pretty glad I ended up getting all 5 of the shades they had available over on Temu. The brow pencil is actually really nice. Just make sure that you choose your shade according to the look that you kind of want. Skip on the black unless you absolutely need to get the black. That's, you know, but it looks really good. And I didn't even have to go in and sharpen up my brows, clean them out or anything. This is just a pencil. I don't even have like a gel on or anything. The primer felt really good on the skin, and so far it's working really well. It's not like separating or anything like that. I've had primers where once the foundation and the concealer and everything kind of sets and you wait maybe 20 minutes, it starts to either separate or like gather in certain areas or even look chunky and dry in certain areas. But this primer actually is doing the most right now, and my skin looks really good, so I'm not mad at her. The highlighters, they are for sure shimmering. So they're not everyday highlighters. They're definitely not something that you're going to want to apply on your skin if you don't like glitter. So I say skip on it if you're looking for an everyday highlighter. But if you're looking for something that you can kind of glam up and go, I want some glitter today, then this is going to be really nice. And you can also use it as a topper. The eyeshadow palette. Ooh, I've got mixed feelings on this. It was super cheap too. It was like $7. So it's not a big deal. I'll tell you, it really does look like it could be a dupe for the original Naked palette. However, I don't think so. The formulas are not going to be the most amazing formulas. I think this is the first Temu palette that I try and I go, I thought it was gonna be better. You know, like you kind of know what to expect based on a color story or the idea of it all and if they're supposed to be dupes or not. The shades are not spot on dupes for the Naked palette when you really look at it, because this is all mattes and the Naked palette does have shimmers in it. And then the pigmentation on this palette is not very uniform. So like that first shade, I struggled to try to get some pigment. The formulation is definitely inconsistent. Some shades are way more pigmented than others, and the ones that you don't expect them to be pigmented are. So that was a little different. For the price point, I think it's a really nice color story. It's a nice palette. Would I say run and buy it? You need it in your life? Probably not. So out of all the product, this is what I had really high hopes for, and then I was like, oh, okay. So if you have the palette already, play around with it, have fun. You can definitely create some cute looks. This is actually really nice. It's not something that you're gonna be able to put together in like 2 seconds, but it definitely came out nice. So I'm not mad at it. I'm just kind of like slightly disappointed because considering my experience with other Temu eyeshadow palettes, like I thought this was gonna perform way better. And yeah, I wanna hear you guys' thoughts, so chime on in the comment section below. Let me know what you're thinking. What have you purchased on Temu? What are like your Temu beauty faves and must-haves? And if you're new to the channel, I want to invite you to join our little family here on the YouTube by hitting that subscribe button below. I upload 6 days out of the week to make sure that you have more than enough content at any given time. And I'm suggesting 2 videos here on screen I'm hoping you'll consider checking out. And if you do, I will see you guys over there. Bye guys.